Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a really fascinating shift. China's car buying scene, specifically through the lens of Generation Z, those born roughly between 95 and 2009.
Yeah, it's a big topic, and we've got some solid material to work with. There's a report, 049 Arja, another one on NEV sales from early 2020, and a JD Power survey with OPO and Lahua Smart Cockpit.
Right. So our mission here is basically to unpack what's driving these young consumers,
Yeah.
what really motivates their car choices.
And it's quite a unique group, China's ZU. They're very globally aware, focused on self-investment, pretty rational, actually.
But also passionate, right? Like the whole otaku culture thing.
Exactly. And importantly, they're often swayed more by social media buzz, KOLs, that kind of thing, rather than old school advertising.
Which is interesting because not long ago, people were talking about youth car separation in China.
Yeah, the idea that smartphones and, well, super easy ride-sharing apps made owning a car less necessary. Just grab your phone and go.
So that leads us to the big question for today. Why this apparent turnaround? Why are we seeing China's Gen Z suddenly interested, maybe even really interested, in buying cars again? What's changed?
Well, a huge part of it seems to be the cars themselves. They've changed a lot in just the last few years.
Okay, how so?
The sources are pointing to things like automatic driving features, artificial intelligence in the car, and 5G connectivity. That's what's catching their eye.
So it's the tech integration. Makes sense, given how much time they spend on their phones. What was the average?
Get this, 7.5 hours a day. So for a car to even register, it kind of has to be like a smartphone extension, right? Seamless.
Yeah, it needs to fit into that digital life. It's not just about getting from A to B anymore.
There's this analogy in one report, like how Gen Z prefers big screens over old TVs or, smart speakers over traditional stereos. It's the same logic with cars. They want the advanced features.
Okay, that makes sense. And this is happening alongside a broader recovery in the Chinese car market overall, post-COVID, right? People wanting personal transport again.
Definitely. And within that recovery, the new energy vehicle market, so EVs, hybrids, that sort of thing, is really starting to, well, take off. Finally.
Finally. Was there a delay?
Well, yeah, there was a bit of a wobble. Remember those battery safety concerns back in 2019? That slowed things down a bit, made people hesitant.
Ah, right. But that's been largely addressed now.
Seems so. Tech's improved, regulations are tighter, and now you're seeing EVs with much better range, like 500 kilometers plus.
So those January 2020 sales figures we have, 42,000 NEVs sold. That sounds low maybe, but it's still early days then.
Exactly. It shows the market was just getting started, and the breakdown back then was mostly pure electric, almost 70%.
Followed by plug-in hybrids at what, 27-ish%?
Yeah, and a tiny sliver of range-extended ones.
Interesting. Now, connecting this to demographics, China's youth population is smaller, right? Because of the one-child policy effect.
That's right, which impacts anything targeted at youth. The biggest group now is actually people in their 30s.
And Gen Z, the post-95 cohort, they have different values, don't they? More focus on social issues.
Absolutely. Things like poverty, climate change, human rights, they care about that stuff.
Which naturally makes gas guzzlers less appealing.
You got it. They're more drawn to NEVs, autonomous tech, and that whole mobility as a service idea, basically. Transport on demand.
Like that net city concept in Shenzhen you mentioned before we started. Pedestrians up top, cars and trains below.
Yeah, that kind of forward-thinking urban planning really clicks with their vision.
Okay, but here's the paradox. Despite all that, the JD Power survey found almost 70% of Gen Z are planning to buy a car. That seems high.
It does. Now, okay, some of that might be aspirational, one day I'll buy one.
Sure, fair enough.
But it's still a significant number, and it really suggests that, well, car makers are finally tuning into what this generation actually wants.
Well, the one is new, techie, trendy.
That's the core of it. They seem less bothered about, what other people think or sticking rigidly to one style. They're looking ahead.
They see cars almost as gadgets, like tech devices or smart mobile spaces.
Precisely. It's a fundamental shift in perspective, not just transport.
So the must-have tech features are automatic driving, AI assistance, and 5G.
Top of the list. It's a huge departure from, say, previous generations who might have prioritized the feel of the drive, the handling, that kind of thing.
It's all about the integrated digital experience inside the car.
Right. But interestingly, they still value the physical dealership, the 4S store, as they call it.
Oh, for what? Kicking the tires?
Mostly for the test drive. But even that's different.
How so?
They're not just testing acceleration or cornering. They're really digging into the smart features, the AI. How does it work? Is it intuitive?
And they want longer test drives to figure all that out.
Yeah, like hours or even half a day sometimes. Really immerse themselves in the tech.
Okay, what about car sharing? You'd think that would replace ownership for this generation.
You would, wouldn't you? And they do use it more. But here's the twist. For many, it actually acts like a trial run.
A trial run.
Yeah, nearly half of the Gen Z users in the survey said using car sharing made them more likely to want to buy their own car eventually.
Wow, so it's like an extended test drive almost.
Kind of. And manufacturers are catching on, partnering with these platforms more.
Smart. Okay, let's talk brands. The sources say there's a strong preference for domestic Chinese brands.
Overwhelmingly so, yes.
Why is that? Is it just patriotism?
That might play a small part for some, but the main reason seems to be perception. Domestic brands are seen as evolving faster, especially with tech.
Packed with smart features.
Exactly. Foreign brands, while respected, maybe aren't seen as being quite as cutting edge in the ways that matter to Gen Z right now.
And when they do choose NEVs, what are the reasons? You mentioned it's different.
Totally different. It's the high-tech equipment, the easy driving, that instant acceleration EVs have, and the quietness.
So it's not primarily about saving money on gas or getting free license plates or subsidies.
Those things rank much lower for Gen Z. It's the tech and the experience first. Practical benefits are secondary.
That's a really key distinction. Can you give an example of the kind of tech experience they like?
Well, think about something like AMAP's AR navigation, that's Geode Map. It overlays directions onto a view of the road ahead, right on the screen or windshield.
Oh yeah, I've seen demos. Shows lane guidance, traffic lights.
Exactly, warns you about pedestrians, other cars. That's the kind of novel, useful, integrated tech experience they find compelling.
And that's getting built into cars more now.
Increasingly, yes. That seamless digital overlay onto the real world.
So, boiling this all down, what are the key takeaways for anyone trying to reach Gen Z, maybe even beyond cars?
Okay, number one, technology, cutting-edge features, environmental awareness, and customization. Products have to tick those boxes. Tech-heavy, innovative, eco-friendly, and personalizable.
And for cars specifically.
Autonomous driving features, AI, and 5G are pretty much essential. Even if it's not full self-driving yet, level 3 or 4 features that feel advanced are crucial. AI needs to be smart, like suggesting charging stops.
Makes sense.
And absolutely critical, seamless smartphone integration, music, games, apps, it all needs to work effortlessly between the phone and the car. The phone is their command center.
Right. Okay, let's quickly circle back to that January 2020 NEV data. Sales are down overall year on year then. Why was that again?
Mostly policy changes and the timing of the Lunar New Year holiday that year.
Gotcha. And market share was shifting towards SUVs, pure electric dominated, and domestic brands held a big chunk, though their sales were also down a bit.
Correct. While joint venture brands had lower volume but gained some share.
And the big cities like Shanghai, Beijing, Guangzhou led the way. Top brands then were BYD, Tesla.
Yep, GAC, Rowe, BMW were also in the mix. But for pure electric, Tesla was the standout foreign brand in the top tier.
And the buyer demographics back then, pure electric was fairly balanced gender-wise, leaning 39 years old.
That's right. Plug-in hybrids, though, skewed heavily male, same age group, mostly for personal use.
Okay, and let's pull a few final nuggets from that J.D. Power Zeus survey. Nearly half planning to buy within 3 years.
Yeah, 48%. They identify as early adopters, trend followers, really keen on smart products.
And shared mobility use doesn't stop them wanting their own car. They see it as more than just transport, like a smart space or even an emotional companion.
That technological feel is super important to them, much more so than other generations, along with safety and value, of course.
And again, autonomous driving, AI, 5G is the most desired tech. Plus, lots of interest in in-car entertainment and social apps.
Fits with their huge smartphone usage, almost 8 hours daily. And they trust info from short video, live streams, KOLs more now.
Purchase channels still lean towards 4S stores, but those brand experience centers are popular too, and they're more open to buying online.
Definitely. And for test drives, convenience is key. They like appointment-based home test drives or even online virtual tours.
And that preference for domestic brands because they seem smarter, faster evolving, that came through strongly.
Very strongly. Their attitude to NEVs versus traditional cars is almost evenly split, around 30% each way, but Gen Z shows the highest interest in NEVs compared to any other age group.
And again, choosing NEVs for the tech, The performance, the quietness, the novelty, the design.
Not just the practical stuff like costs or incentives, although, interestingly, for NEV brands, they still lean towards established international names or known foreign players like Tesla, maybe seeking proven tech there.
Possibly. And secondhand cars seem less appealing. Concerns about transparency.
Yeah, transparency, hassle, maybe even image. But resale value does matter to nearly 60% of them. They expect it to hold up reasonably well.
Okay, so wrapping this deep dive up, the big picture is clear. Chinese Gen Z is interested in cars again, but on completely different terms than before.
Absolutely. Technology, connectivity, the whole digital experience inside the car, that's what counts. Forget just horsepower and handling.
So the message for manufacturers, and maybe other industries too, is you have to understand these priorities. Smartphone integration, cutting-edge tech, a brand image that clicks.
It's crucial. You need to speak their language, offer experiences that resonate with their digital lives and their values.
Definitely. So here's a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. As this tech keeps racing ahead, how is this relationship between young people and cars going to evolve further?
And maybe think bigger, too. What does this tell us about consumer goods in general? What values will drive the next generation's choices across the board?
Something to ponder. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.